It's a good bear.
Woo!
He's a nice bear.
That's a nice bear.
I think we'll leave on the other side.
There's your hit.
Yeah, look at that. Huh? Looks so good. This is a bear we've been looking for. Seen a sow and cubs the night before I shot this one, and we passed them up. They came in twice, but we didn't want to shoot the sow or the cubs. We were a long ways in the woods. I shot him the night before, and we just tracked him down this morning. Didn't want to come out because he was too deep in here. We got to actually cape him out right here, right in the field, which is kind of an adventure in itself. We usually do this in the shop, but because we're so far in the woods, we had to take care of it in the woods. We'll quarter him up, save the back loins, save the forequarters and the hide, and pack them all out. This is just another way of doing it for bear. If we're in too deep, you take a 250, 300 pound bear, a mile in the woods possibly, sometimes 2 miles. It's a long job trying to pull them out whole, so we skin them out and pack them out. Make 2 trips, possibly. We get enough help here, maybe we can just do it all in 1 trip. Oh no, it's all right. It's up to you, but you'll be doing a lot of help by holding. Try not to leave a lot of meat, but you can leave as much fat as you want, Paul.
Yep.
No problem.
After 30 years as an outfitter, bear hunter and taxidermist Eldon Jandreau makes a 2-hour field dressing of a big bear in the wilderness look easy.
Here's my exit hole, my arrow right there. Right there, see that?
Yep.
We didn't film the whole bear because it's kind of a long process. We had other things to do, but we're almost done the bear now. Here's the exit hole. I don't know if you can see that, Frank, but it's pretty close to the exit. Right there we come out. We just got the back side here to cut the head off, and we'll be to quarter it up and get the loins out and ready to rock and roll. So you get that backside second half, you see?
Yep.
And okay, Paul, what we'll do is try to fold them up.
Okay. Just want to fold it in on it?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
back half first? Doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. Put the front half now in there. No, I think we'll get the... Put it right in the bag.
And put it in the pack frame. Get it on the frame itself.
I think with the bag it'd be easier to get it, you know.
I was going to say, because you can just
hide.
and then we'll hold those tight, and then we'll put the top on.
Exactly.
You should be able to hold that side.
We got the hide all packed out. Next thing we'll do is pack up the meat, and then we'll make 2 trips because we only got 1 pack frame. And I think we're ready to rock and roll again.
The process is not complete after the bear is field dressed. In this case, a 4-mile round-trip trek out of dense forest was necessary. Carefully following the ribbons, the party makes its way back through the forest. Longbow had to make the trip again for the meat. This was an unusual hunt since bears are usually located within hours of their being shot.
Taxidermy is of course preserving your animal or your trophy for a lifetime, for yourself or for your kids. But what people don't realize is how important it is to cool that animal down, to dress it off, to get it to a taxidermist as soon as possible.
And then the taxidermist works his magic.
Then I skin the hide out and salt the hide down to draw the moisture out of the hide to keep the hair from slipping. And then I send it to a commercial tannery. Tanning is basically a pickling solution. It turns the hide into a leather. And then they send it back to me and I put it together so I can preserve your mount for hundreds of years. This is a half a life-size mount. And it's got the arms and the shoulder and the head. It's considered half a life-size.
And a finely tuned heirloom requires an artist's touch.
I think we can make it fit. So what I'll do now is we'll put the ear liners inside the ear. Now we actually have a left ear and a right ear on this, and you're going to make sure you put it on here so you don't put the wrong ear liner inside the wrong ear. Now I'm going to slip the ear liner inside the ear. Make sure you get a nice tight snug fit. Now we'll do the right ear. The bear's left. And do the same thing. Now we have ear liners on both ears. We'll let that set. And meantime we're going to putty up our eyes and our nose and our lip. After years of doing this, it's easy to put a little excess modern clay in there. I can always remove it later on. I'm actually putting in clay where the lips are going to go and the nostrils. I cut a slot so I can tuck the lips and the nostrils inside the form so it looks natural. Now we'll get our eyes. These are special eyes. They're made for black bear and wild boar. Bears actually do have blue eyes. The pupil on a bear, as people don't realize, have a blue eye. We'll set the first eye in and model that up first. What we're doing is flesh around the hide that we take off when we flesh it. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually replacing the fleshy part of the hide back to its original state and modeling up the eye so it looks natural. Now we'll try to set the other one in. It's very important to make them identical, and it's very important also to keep an eye on it for a couple of years, no pun intended, to make sure that it dries properly, because sometimes if it dries too quickly it might pull one way or another. There, I got too much compared to the other one on one side, so I'm going to tone it down a bit. Make sure you have the same amount on each side, very important. Next process will be to put hide paste over the form, and what that does, that glues the hide to the form, and we'll begin sewing it up once that happens.
The process of animal recreation is a lengthy and life-learned skill. Few artists call themselves taxidermists. Every part of the heirloom requires consummate attention, incredible detail, whether to repair holes caused by fights or to simply assure that the eyes on the form remain focused and true.
It's starting to look like a bear already. What I'm doing here is I'm pulling the hide, nice tight fit. There's no wrinkles in it.
Longbow tucks the lips and begins to stitch.
So here all I'm going to be using is a baseball stitch. It's going from one side to the other. What's nice about doing a black bear is that the hide is black, and by using black thread, of course, you can't see the stitches whatsoever. Also, the hair is fairly long on a black bear, so it really hides it well. Taxidermy is definitely an art form. I mean, you have to be an artist to be a taxidermist, and to bring the animal to a life-like is just amazing. If you think about it, if you take from a wet rag or wet piece of skin and bring it to a life-like, is definitely an art. And I don't think, I mean, for the customer that comes in and it's a trophy for him, the more lifelike you can make it look, the better it is. All right, now we're going to do the arms. That's what's nice about this mounting form. You can move it to any position you want. This is going to be mounted on a piece of driftwood or a rock. This will be underneath of the foot, which you will not see that hole that I put in for the rod. It's pretty snug anyway. And then sew it up. And again, all I'm doing here is the same thing, a baseball stitch. Now we'll come back and do the other leg.
Imperfections, hide tears, and holes likely caused by fighting require Eldon's repair skills.
I'm combing any knots that might have out.
Black bears always leave the shop with a clean, shiny coat.
What that does, it takes all the dust off in it. Again, I'm going to come back to this every hour next couple days to make sure the eyes and the nose dry properly. And also this piece here I have to fix, so I'm going to do that next. And all I'm going to do is put some pins in place till it dries. Like I said, I don't want to fix it until it dries because I don't want any seam. So we'll brush them out real good, take all the sawdust and stuff out of the hide.
With the arm fully repaired and restored, Longbow continues the heirloom's final touch.
Now we'll go around the eyes, the eyelid. Do the lip the same way. You can see the difference in the wet look. You have to be very careful when you're cleaning the eyes not to clean where you've already painted, and it defeats the purpose. Because if you do, by mistake, you can always go over it again and repaint it. Just a lot more work, that's all. I think we got her. See, I tell everybody there's only two kinds of hunters. Bow hunters and the ones that want to be. And then there's all two kinds of bow hunters. Traditional bow hunters and the ones that want to be. And this is a big joke I've been telling for years. I've been teased my whole life because I've always used the longbow, and my friends are starting to tease me now that I'm getting old, and they're saying, I can't wait till you can't pull that longbow back so you can start using a compound or use a rifle. And I told them never, as long as I can draw back, even if I had to do it with my teeth, I said I'm going to use my longbow. So I guess that's how I developed my name, Longbow, because that's all I've ever used to hunt with my whole life. A lot of people say, you know, do you just save the hide? We actually, over the last 20 years, I've seen more and more people save the bear meat. And all of it is edible. I mean, the only trouble with bear meat is there's a lot of fat on it. So it's very important, just like pork, to take the fat off in the bear. So from the hindquarters, the front quarters, the back loin, everything on a bear is edible just like any other animal. Also, you have some hunters sometimes that either they're flying or they have a long trip home, so they don't dare to take the meat home because they might shoot the bear on a Friday evening. So we wouldn't have time to skin it and freeze the meat. So rather than lose the meat, I know the meat is fresh, so I have a cooler, walk-in cooler, and I actually save it for the locals. So a lot of locals will call me up periodically during bear season and say, Eldon, do you have any fresh bear meat? And I say, absolutely. So not a bit goes to waste. If the hunter does not want it or cannot take it for whatever reason, whether he's flying or he shot it late in the week where it doesn't have time to freeze, I will save the meat for the locals, and I bet you I give away 600 to 1,200 pounds of meat a year to the local people.